Update. I think my boyfriend resents me for earning more than him. Original post. So, I, 30 female, met my boyfriend, 28 male, a school teacher 6 years ago when I was still a med student. He helped me during the difficult years of my residency, and we had what I thought was a solid relationship. We have similar interests in movies, music, board games. We had some arguments, but they were always resolved through talking. We always have fun together. Now that I finally finished residency and landed a solid job with good pay, we even started looking for a place to move in together. The thing is, now that I finally feel like we can start truly enjoying things, with a more stable financial situation and with me having more free time, he seems to resent me. I don't really understand. It started innocently enough, with him making slight remarks about me now being a fancy doctor, when I bought some new, better quality and more professional clothes. But now the remarks never seem to stop. We went on a holiday together. I booked a better hotel room than usual, because I can now afford one and was very excited about it. He told me I was showing off my new doctor money. I paid for his entrance ticket to a concert for a band we both like. He told me he would have preferred we had gone to a local bar. I paid for dinner at a restaurant we always talked about trying in the future. He complained about the size of the portions. Yesterday, I gave him a new shirt. He told me, "Of course, now I have to be better dressed to be with you." I told him this phrase hurt me, and he told me he was just joking. To which I said that jokes are supposed to be funny, not hurtful. He accused me of being too sensitive. I left shortly after because he refused to talk more about it. I simply do not understand this man. I pay for these things for him because I want to enjoy them with him. And since I can afford them and he can't, it seemed obvious that I could just pay his part. Gift giving is one of my love languages, especially if the gift is an experience we can have together. When we started our relationship, it was clear I would earn more than him someday, me being at the time, future MD, and school teachers having profoundly unfair low salaries. He even talked about being a stay-at-home dad. I'm profoundly confused by his current behavior. It seems clear that he resents me and refuses to talk about it. At the same time, we've been together for 6 years. I love him dearly, and I'm hoping it's just a phase. Any advice on how to deal with this? Now for the top advice before reading the update. Why are you making this about money when the real problem is that he doesn't respect you? I didn't look at this from this perspective. At the moment, all I can think is that a man that was with me through my bad days seems to resent me during my good days. I don't know why. Be careful listening to people on Reddit. They're just people, and they don't truly know your situation. It's a stereotype for people in this subreddit to jump to, leave him. Maybe he does truly resent you or is jealous. Or maybe he's worried that he's no longer good enough, or that you might find someone better. There's a ton of rhetoric about men needing to be providers, blah blah blah. He's being immature and callous with the jokes. But you need to have a direct conversation about this. Like, look him in the eyes and ask, why are you making jokes about my income so much? Are you worried? What are you feeling? If you come at it from a position of trying to help him, he might be responsive. If he's really helped you out during your tough times, I think it's worth it to try and work through it. You might have already done all of this though. I'm just another Redditor. I don't know your relationship. He may also feel really defensive at first. That doesn't mean there's no hope. I mean, the fact that you told him that this bothered you, and that he just dismissed that and called you sensitive, is pretty worrying. I don't think you're going to solve this between just the two of you. Marriage counseling might help get to the root of why he is acting like this. Based on how OP describes the conversations they had earlier in the relationship, it's clear he wasn't expecting to resent her making more money, and he may not even have admitted to himself now that that's what's going on. Counseling stat. Now for the update. First, I want to thank everyone who took the time to read my post and give advice. I received messages asking how things went, so I decided to write this. The next day, I sent him a message stating we needed to have a conversation about what happened. I went to his house and told him I was hurt by his comments, and especially by his dismissal of my feelings afterward. I said I understand that the recent shift in the dynamics of our relationship could be hard to deal with, but that I loved him and was really happy about finally being able to buy and do things we had spoken about in the past and wanted to share this with him. He apologized for his behavior and told me he was feeling insecure and lashing out because of that. I thought the conversation was going very well and that things would be better. Then he dropped the bomb. He cheated with another teacher from his school. He explained that the guilt over this was also making him behave strangely. He told me he was feeling less worthy, and another woman wanting him helped him feel better, helped his self-esteem. That it was just one time and it was a mistake, that he loved me and wanted to be better. I just stood there. I didn't even know how to react. Cheating is a deal breaker for me, and I told him this at the beginning of our relationship. I thought he understood that. I thought he was the one. I think he noticed my initial lack of reaction because he implored me to say something. In the end, I just thanked him for his honesty and told him we were over. He started crying and begging for forgiveness, telling me I was the love of his life and other things that, to be truthful, I didn't really pay attention to because all I wanted at the moment was to leave his house and never see him again. I moved to the door and he tried to block me. That was when I got angry. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I made it clear I would not tolerate cheating and that he broke my trust. So that was it. I was breaking up with him. The end. I was so angry I was shaking, and I'm proud that I managed to control myself enough not to yell. I just wanted to be clear with my intentions. So that was it. He wouldn't stop messaging me, first with excuses and then with anger, but the final straw was a text saying how I was throwing away a 6-year relationship over a mistake. I told him that he was the one who threw the relationship away and that I would be sending him his things. Then I blocked him. Now I'll have to search for a place to take STD tests that has different staff from the ones in my hospital. I don't want gossip about me. I have to take some time for myself, and then I guess I'll be back on the dating market. At 30. That will be fun. Sigh. Sorry for the lack of a happy ending, but I suppose that's life. I met my husband when I was 34. We're coming up on 14 years married. So no, you're not gonna have a bad time of things. But you need to take the lesson of don't tolerate jackasses with you into your future. If your response to being treated poorly by men is to stay around and wait for them to stop treating you poorly, you're never gonna meet someone who treats you well. I second this. I know it's different for males sometimes, but I, 40 male, didn't find the absolute love of my life until I was 36. I had plenty of relationships, a 7-year one, a 3-year one, 2 years, and lots of little ones in between. I was smart, didn't get married during any of them, because I'm a child of parents who have been through multiple divorces. I've now been with my fiancé for 4+ years, and I proposed to her over New Year's on our trip to Breckenridge, where she could see snow for the first time. Dating isn't easy and it isn't fun sometimes, but all is not lost. Take this experience and everything you've learned and apply it to whatever comes next. I truly feel like that's why my current relationship is just so perfect for me. You did the right thing. You made it clear cheating was a deal breaker and he cheated. On top of that, this man had a hard-working, successful partner that was willing to openly share that success. And to deal with that, he slept with another person? That shows he has a lot to work on, and you dodged a bullet. I know it doesn't look like it now, but you'll be infinitely happier a year from now. You will look back on this and say, wow, how did I not do that sooner? You got this. Next story. Both of us decided we wanted to divorce on Friday, and now my husband is head over heels in love again. What is happening? Backstory. Me, the wife, 33, husband, 32, have been together on and off since age 13. The last time we got back together was 10 years ago. Have been married 7. Anyway, the relationship has been going south. I'll save you the full backstory. But basically, we've just spent a week apart, and I came home Friday to tell my husband I didn't want to be together anymore. He said, I agree. We then actually communicated for the first time in our entire relationship. Normally it's me begging for something and getting silence. Anyway, we sobbed and sobbed, agreed to go work on ourselves, still love each other, but agree it isn't working, still want to be friends, etc. Generally the best outcome, and we are completely financially tied currently anyway. During all of this, I am now easily the most vulnerable I have ever been. Broken is probably the right word. Anyway, my husband has done a complete 360 and is now completely besotted. He has become everything I've ever wished for overnight and is now going to stop at nothing to keep me safe and love me properly. He said he feels complete, like he isn't worried he will let me down because I need him and he will build me back up. Meanwhile, I'm like, WTF? Where has this been our entire marriage? My main argument has been how I don't feel emotionally safe because I do everything, and up until a month ago, was the only one earning money and felt overwhelmed by the responsibility and needed him to step up. Also, I am so broken. I don't know what to do or think. Is it sustainable? Am I being love-bombed? Like, I'm pretty confident we are trauma-bonded from growing up together in a rough time, and I am very aware I'm trying to keep the peace to feel safe. But he is saying his brain feels like it's been rewired. Can us finally communicating do that? Edit. Just wanted to add a little bit because I didn't expect this to blow up. We are both very recently in therapy. Me since January, him since April. He started a job a month ago, and he is very happy in it and feels more masculine, which has been our underlying problem, and I know I need to work on my trust. But it's because I have been responsible for everything and not felt supported when I've begged. I'm seeing my therapist Thursday. Nothing has changed, aside from the reality hitting him that he's about to lose everything, including apparently your financial support, so he's trying to reel you back in. It didn't matter to him that your needs were going unmet throughout the entire rest of your marriage, and it doesn't matter to him now. The only reason he's acting like it does is because his comfort level is about to take a hit if you divorce. That's why he's suddenly love-bombing. I agree that it's love-bombing, especially since she mentioned that her attempts at communication were always met with a silent treatment throughout the relationship. Love-bombing and the silent treatment are favorite tactics of manipulators. You said it in your original post. You are broken and the most vulnerable you have ever been and he has ever seen. And he is completely besotted. I was engaged to a guy years ago. He was a rebound and the relationship should have stayed recreational. But I lost a parent, young, to an unexpected accident. I was devastated and he lived to support me. Problem was, I didn't stay devastated. The more I got my act together, the more issues we had. I don't have enough info to say your ex is a bad guy, but it certainly sounds like he's only attracted to the most vulnerable version of you. You have been carrying a lot of the water in the relationship, emotionally and financially. I would certainly have concerns if a partner was clearly more attracted to me at my most vulnerable, as that is not how I would intend to remain. Also, WTF. If you have to keep the peace to feel safe, then you are not safe. I'd get right on out of this. Last story. My wife has us in financial ruin. I, 29 male, have nobody that I can really talk to about this. If my wife, 28 female, found out I told a family member or a friend, she would feel completely betrayed. I'm a very keep people happy type person, so I would hate to make her feel that way. Luckily, I have an alt Reddit account that I can use to talk to strangers on the internet. So thank you for being here. My wife and I got married in 2021. We took our honeymoon to Disney World. My parents happily supported this and bought the tickets and resort stay for us as our wedding gift. This was fine and dandy until my wife got to the parks and wanted to basically buy everything. Fast forward a week to after the honeymoon, we ended up with about $5,000 in credit card debt. This included Airbnb stays that helped us make the car ride to and back from Florida, Disney merch, food, and gas. We were slowly cutting it down until her dad called and asked for help to pay for her brother's car repair, which would be another $11,000. She brought up the idea of taking out a $17,000 loan to help her family and pay off our debt at a smaller interest rate. Smart idea. I was totally on board. Fast forward to last year, 2024. She comes to me and says she doesn't know what to do. She's almost $20,000 in credit card debt due to random purchases she had made out of depression. She told me that she would change and never get us into that kind of debt again. So, as peeved as I was, I agreed. I took out a $22,000 loan and sent it straight to her to pay off her credit cards. I didn't tell her this, but I told myself if this happens again, I will divorce her. Fast forward to today. She told me that she had to pay her minimum payments on credit card debt. I was fine with that. She was taking her own debt into her own hands, and I figured it wasn't that bad. Then she said, unless you have an extra $7,700 to pay off my card. I laughed it off because we are with her family this weekend, but I really don't know what to say. None of my paychecks each month gets put into savings. I basically send my paycheck to bills and loan repayment. I even have my own credit card debt to pay off because she and her family want to do so many things, and I'm basically forced to put it on my credit card. What is your advice to me if you were in my shoes? Now for the advice. You are enabling her, not just your people-pleaser shtick. Borrowing $20,000 to pay off credit cards goes far beyond that. You both need to cut up your credit cards as step 1. Step 2 might be to investigate bankruptcy or one of those credit counseling agencies. I don't see how divorce would help anyone, but whatever. Her dad called and asked for help to pay for her brother's car repair, which would be another $11,000. WTF? You can get a used car for that much. Is OP sure about the brother needing car repair story? Has he spoken to her parents about this money? Maybe seen the car before and after these extortionate repairs. Has to be a complete overhaul, right? Can he talk to her family about this, or would that also leave her feeling completely betrayed? Or is this a story concocted by his wife to cover more debt? That car repair caught my eye. What sort of repairs adds up to that? And who would spend that much to repair a car when they don't have that sort of money? Like you said, you can get a used car for that, a pretty nice one, or for even less. That's how much you pay for a car repair when you own a $100K plus car. And if you own a car like that, you make enough to pay for repairs. Do you have kids? If not, bail. If you stay with her, she should not have access to debt in any form. Get rid of all the cards, get a joint account, and tell her she cannot use other hidden accounts or sources of money until she can act like a grown-up about money. Get on an envelope system, track every dollar, and her family should not ask her or you for money. If they do, man up and inform them your family is deep in debt and can't help. You might tell them it's partly from helping and they need to pay you back. Seriously though, I've seen this too many times. She's not gonna fix it. If no kids involved, get out now.